This is going to be a fun afternoon out fishing for largemouth bass. I love catching big fish, and largemouth are a critter that gets overlooked for ice fishing, but they can be caught. They're challenging. Of course, largemouth get big. They're much bigger than crappies or sunnies, which you spend a lot of time fishing for. And I'm going to use a technology that is live imaging, so forward-facing sonar, to help me find and catch these largemouth bass. Now, one of the things that I've found in bass fishing in the winter is the key is vertical standing cover. Green weeds are great. Everybody says look for green weeds. Of course, it's great if you can find them when they're green, but if the weeds are standing straight up and down, they're magnets for largemouth. And I just cut a hole with this Mega Live here, and it's just amazing. I'm able to see exactly where the weed line is, and I'm targeting the edge of the weeds, and I can also see where the densest and most vertical stands of weeds are in a 50-foot area. That's what I'm looking at around here. And also I'm seeing little schools of minnows and bass, so it's pretty crazy. If you look right here, 15 feet in front of me, I've got a great weed edge. It actually looks like there's a bass. Oh, he's moving, he's going back into the cover. That's just right next to the thickest clump of weeds here. So imagine that, the fish are right on the weed line. And as I scan up this way, it gets a lot shallower. The weeds get a lot thicker, but just looking in this direction in front of me, yep, there's a nice little chunk of weeds 15 feet this way that I can see some bass. So I'm gonna go jump ahead and go try to catch some largemouth bass, and I'll share with you how I catch them. I love these electric augers. This year they've got the light flight bit, which is amazing if you haven't used these. This makes the auger so lightweight, but they've got new batteries too, so it's a bigger, more powerful battery, but this is kind of a cool feature. It's got that little USB charging port on there too, so it's kind of handy for charging whatever. It's just a nice little portable power block, as well as a great auger battery. Of course, whether it's ice fishing or open water, matching the rod, the reel, the line to the presentation is really critical. And I'm primarily fishing with most of my panfish stuff, not even necessarily the walleye stuff. So here is a 30-inch light extra fast rod. So it's got you can see that the tip on it is super fast, but doesn't take hardly anything to show signs of a bite. And then the other one I'm fishing the slab wrap with is the perch seeker. So they're really panfish rods. And then I just bump up the line. So my go-to line for largemouth fishing is I like fishing with a 4-pound mono. I love Suffolk's Advanced Mono. That's absolutely hands down my favorite monofilament for ice fishing. A little largy, tiny guy, but I will take it. And then I just use a 6-pound fluorocarbon leader on the end of that, and that works perfect. And a size 1,000 or 2,000 reel is all you need. So I can promise that you've got the equipment for catching largemouth through the ice. Really the only difference is you want to up the size of the main line. And again, I really like fishing with 4-pound mono. That Suffolk's Advanced 4-pound is just tough as nails, but it's thin. And if you wanted to fish a braid, you're fishing inside more, absolutely go with the braid, but I just fish outside mostly, so I like the mono. There, look at that, how subtle that is. Oh! Their bites are so subtle. Just amazing. I had one. Just blows you away that these fish, in the summertime, you throw a spinner bait, a buzz bait, they can just fly up and just smash stuff. And then when it comes to winter time, especially midwinter, they are just so finicky. I mean, their mouths are huge, but they'll bite tiny little baits. And I'm using a rod right now with a really sensitive tip because so often the bite is just extremely subtle. And so you just have to sit and watch, and it's almost always just the subtlest little movement, just a slight little down pull, and that's all it is for these guys most of the time. There it is. Got him. Boy, is that subtle or what? Oh, mackerel. They're so obvious. They just move so slow. Oh. But I love them. I love them. I love them. Now in a couple months here, right after the ice goes out, you can go to most lakes where the season's open for largemouth bass, and they're about the easiest fish to catch that there is. You just get something in front of them and they love biting. But this wintertime deal is a totally different program. Oh, they can just be so darn finicky. And this is what's amazing. I can't really think of, maybe with the exception of something late ice, where they're not always hooked right there. Usually that pad right in the front of their mouth is where you end up hooking them. It's just right there. Cool. Not a giant fish, but hey, I am very happy to be on the board with a great largie here, and had to make the switch from the slab wrap to a little bitty jig like that, and that's what it took to get this guy to bite. Beauty, beauty. There you are, Mr. Bass. Down you go. If I was bluegill fishing, I'd fish, you know, a 32nd or 64th ounce, something like that. But when fishing these bass, I'm actually fishing a 16th here. Just something a little bit heavier. It's just nice to feel the jig a little bit more, and I feel like having the heavier jig helps you pick up that bite just a little bit more. So I do use a slightly heavier jig. Goodness. No. Just got denied by 2 fish. No? Yep, it was cool. I saw him on the camera. I saw him on live. This live imaging is hands down the most impressive technology that I've seen come along in fishing since mapping. I mean, it is truly amazing how much easier it is to find fish, but also how much you can learn with just by looking at how the fish move. You can see the number of fish. You're not just watching something as it's represented in a vertical column. You're seeing it nearly 3-dimensionally. And so there's just so much to learn in that regard. Now, I have 2 units out here, however. This live unit is great for finding fish. If you're setting down, you can use down mode that I have it in right now. It's really great. You can have multiple anglers watching what's going on below you. But if I'm hole hopping like I am today, I still really like having the traditional, you know, Helix 7 ice setup. That way it's a lot easier to be mobile with that one, but really, ooh, here's a bass right here. If you were gonna just choose to have one piece of technology today for fishing or ice fishing, gosh, that was a big fish, it would have to be the Mega Live unit. It is just absolutely stunning what you can see, what you can learn. It's an amazing, amazing piece of technology. Just slithering right below. We're not gonna make a move, or are you gonna make a move? Oh, this one's turning around quick though. Right there, see him, he's coming. And got him. That was cool. Swam by, investigated, then just said, you know what? That is just too tempting. A little red worm. How could I say no to that? Every day is an experiment out here. Oh gosh. Sometimes they want something big. You know what? One of the things that's blown us away is we've run little micro cameras out here a fair bit too, and we've got a ton of shots of bass's gill rakers. They'll come and eat that little camera. So they can eat big stuff, and they like eating big shiner minnows, but you know, some days when you're fishing with the artificial program, it's a hair jig, it's a slab wrap, it's a, you know, a bigger bait, but a lot of times day in, day out, once again, just that tiny little VMC probe jig, 1 maggot. That's all it takes. If you're looking to do something fun through the ice, you're looking for that midday bite, you want to catch something a little bigger than sunnies and crappies or perch, and you know you're waiting for that walleye window to happen in the evening, check out largemouth bass, man. You can actually have some really great action doing this. They pull really hard, and it really is no wonder why these are America's favorite sport fish, and they still can be even through the ice. See, dude?